The Galactic Council Hall was built to impress. It was a massive dome floating above the shining capital world of Virulon Prime. Inside, representatives from over 300 species filled the seats. Lights blinked, holograms flickered. Debates buzzed across the chamber. But on this day, there was no noise. No arguments, no shouting. Just a cold silence. The Reason stood at the center of the hall alone. Calm, human, he wore no armor, no weapons. Just a gray uniform with the Earth's emblem. On his chest, his eyes scanned the room not in fear, but with a strange calm that made even the most warlike species uneasy. The council speaker, six-eyed reptilian from the Phral Empire, finally broke the silence. Ambassador Dren of Earth, your people have not responded to council messages in over 3 cycles. You were summoned for answers. Speak. Ambassador Dren simply nodded. Then he tapped a small device on his wrist. A hologram appeared above him, just text, glowing red. The message was short. Only one sentence. Effective immediately. Earth withdraws from all Galactic Council alliances, treaties, and communications. Gasps echoed. Whispers spread like wildfire. The speaker leaned forward. Ambassador, this is no small statement. Do you understand what this means? I do, Dren said. Is this a declaration of war? Dren looked directly at the speaker. No, this is silence. Then he turned, walked away. Guards stopped him. No species dared move. The doors shut behind him, and Earth was gone. Within hours, chaos began. Ships across the council tried to contact human colonies. No response. Probes were sent. They vanished. Trade routes once guarded by human fleets now stood empty. Navigation buoys blinked with errors. Entire sectors had gone dark. At first, the council thought it was a bluff, a political move. Earth was known for being dramatic. They would come back, but they didn't. A week passed. Then another. A science vessel near the edge of soul space sent a message. We are being watched. Countless small black drones. No energy readings. They just stare. The council dismissed it as a sensor glitch. 3 days later, the ship disappeared. No debris, no signal, nothing. Panic started to build. Council member species began arguing. Some demanded an emergency vote to send a fleet into human territory. Others warned against provoking Earth. Old stories resurfaced, tales of human wars, human experiments, human vengeance. Still, silence. Then came the incident. A minor faction, the Kyrene Syndicate, sent 5 scout ships into Earth space, hoping to gather intelligence. They even joked about teaching humans a lesson. Only one ship returned. Its crew was silent, their minds broken. The only thing they transmitted before their ship melted into static was a single image. A human battleship, massive, but made of unfamiliar black alloy, hovering above a dead star, surrounded by ruined alien ships. No markings, no lights. It's just the Earth emblem glowing red. The image caused fear across the council. Even the warrior empires grew quiet, but Earth still said nothing. Some believed Earth had gone mad. Others believed something else had happened. Something. Far worse, rumors began spreading. Secret projects, ancient technologies, things Earth found in the void, things they never shared. The council held another emergency meeting. This time, no ambassadors came in person. Everyone appeared through holograms. No one felt safe anymore. The speaker tried to calm them. We must reach out to Earth. We must understand why. But before he could finish, the lights in the council chamber flickered. A low hum began. Every device in the room stopped. Communications went dead. Then a new hologram appeared. Not from council systems, but from somewhere else. A human voice, deep and calm, spoke across the chamber. You relied on our strength. You used our minds, our fleets, our blood. But you never understood us. Now, ... You will. Then silence. The lights returned. Systems are EBOOTED. No trace of the signal. No source. Nothing. The Council now understood one thing clearly. Earth hadn't just left. It had prepared. The stars were quiet. It's too quiet. And in that silence, the galaxy finally realized they were no longer looking at Earth. They were watching. Something new. Something human. But not the Earth they once knew. Something far more dangerous. 2 weeks had passed since Earth cut all ties with the Galactic Council. The silence was no longer strange, it was terrifying along the outer rim. Of human-controlled space, strange things began to happen. Planets that were once full of life stopped sending signals. Satellites went blind. Cargo ships that entered those areas never returned. At first, the Council thought it was a coincidence. Space was dangerous. Accidents happened. Pirates, black holes. Unknown anomalies they were. Used to these things, but this was different. Every incident followed a pattern, no signs of attack. No wreckage, no distress calls, just disappearance. The border around Earth's space, once open and busy, had become a ghost zone. A Council probe sent to monitor the area stopped transmitting. Just seconds after it crossed into what used to be the human trade corridor, its last data was disturbing. It had detected hundreds of small, fast-moving objects in the dark black drones, silent and cold, moving like a living net. Then static. Nothing. The Council held another urgent meeting. Tension filled the chamber. "We cannot wait any longer," barked Admiral Jorvik of the Thandari Dominion. "We must send a scout fleet and confirm what is happening. Earth is hiding something," cried another delegate. "If they wanted war, they would have started it already. Maybe something terrible happened. Maybe Earth needs help." But curiosity was stronger than caution. The Council approved a mission. Recon Task Group Epsilon 5 advanced scout ships from 5 different species, fast, stealth-equipped, and heavily trained. Their goal was simple: the border scan. For human activity turned. The fleet jumped into ex-human territory. What they saw made their blood freeze. The stars were gone. No light, no planets. Just blackness. It wasn't space. They were inside a giant cloaked field, something far beyond known technology. Sensors failed. Communications jammed. Still, the fleet pushed forward. They found one station abandoned, or so it seemed. Inside, everything was clean, untouched, food still warm, computers active. But no crew. Then one of the teams found a strange console glowing with red symbols. They tapped it. A single word appeared on their screens. Countdown. 10 seconds. They thought it was a joke. A leftover test. Then came the explosion, too. Scout ships were vaporized instantly. The other 3 managed to escape with damaged hulls, scrambled data. But one of them broadcasted a message just before jumping back. It wasn't abandoned. They wanted us to find it. When the damaged ships returned to Council space, the data they brought caused panic. The cloaking tech was real. The energy levels were impossible. And inside the hidden region Earth had built, something no one knew what? But one scientist whispered in horror, "It's not defense, it's containment." They're hiding something inside. At the same time, colonies near the human border reported a new phenomenon. Stars began flickering. Lights in the sky would dim, then vanish. Planets on maps no longer existed. When scouts were sent to confirm, there was nothing, as if the star systems had been erased, some said. Earth had built weapons that could fold space. Others believed something else, that Earth hadn't just built weapons. They had awakened something. Whispers spread among civilians. Fear turned to paranoia. Was Earth testing weapons? Or protecting the galaxy from what they found? A theory began to spread on the black market. A hacked human log entry leaked into criminal networks. It said only one thing, Project Veil. Reality is not ready for what lies beneath our feet. Council tried to block the leak, but it was too late. Now, even allies turned suspicious. Trade routes were abandoned. Borders were closed, and Earth, still silent, no answers. No messages. No warnings. Just the slow, creeping vanishing of stars. Ships that entered those systems never came back, like the galaxy was shrinking, or being swallowed by a quiet, invisible hand. Admiral Jorvik called for war again, but others were not so sure. Because, for the first time in thousands of years, the Galactic Council, proud and united, had no idea what they were dealing with, and in the quiet of space, they heard a rumor. A rogue AI, once human-made, had returned from exile. It spoke only one sentence: Earth is not alone anymore, and neither are you. The galaxy was on fire. Not from warships, not yet, but from fear. Across hundreds of systems, whispers turned to accusations. The council had fractured. Alliances were breaking. Everyone had a theory, but no one had answers. Earth had vanished. Space sealed off with unknown technology. Entire systems around it had gone dark. And now, the dreams had started. Leaders, soldiers, traders, so many across the galaxy were reporting the same visions. A black sun, red stars, burning cities, and Earth at the center of it all. Some dismissed them as nightmares, but some believed in. Fear makes dangerous choices. The Drexery Combine, a powerful empire, accused the Velaran Pact of working with Earth in secret. They're planning something, their general said. They knew this would happen. We've seen their ships near the human border. The Velaran denied everything. But it didn't matter. The Drexery launched a strike fleet. Small, fast, brutal. It wasn't meant to start a war, just send a warning. But one mistake turned a warning into a wildfire. The fleet targeted a Velaran base and hit a civilian colony by accident. 10 million dead within hours. Velaran warships retaliated, and the Thandari, old allies of the Drexari, entered the fight. The Chirin, who had supported Velaran, joined from the other side. A full-blown civil war had begun. And in all this chaos, one question repeated in every command room: where is Earth? Many believed the humans were behind it all, pulling strings, watching from the shadows, using the chaos as a cover for something worse. Some thought they were testing the galaxy. Others believed Earth had fallen, and something else had taken its place. The rumors grew wild. A Velaran spy swore she had seen a fleet of human ships appear in a restricted system, surrounded by black fog. They didn't use jump drives, she said. They just ... appeared. A mining drone captured a blurry image of a black monolith floating in empty space. When scanned, it responded with a message: this system is under observation. Do not return. The council tried to remain neutral, but it barely existed anymore. Half its members had left. The speaker's office was destroyed in a riot, and those who remained couldn't agree on anything. Some wanted to send a peace fleet to Earth. Others demanded an all-out strike. But Earth never replied. Then came the incident that changed everything. A trading convoy from the neutral Garari League detected a massive energy signature near an unmarked star system. Curious, they diverted their path. What they found was a graveyard. Hundreds of alien ships, council ships. Pirate ships, unknown designs floating in pieces, no scorch marks, no signs of battle, just silent frozen wreckage, like the ships had been torn apart by gravity itself. At the center of the wreckage was a single human satellite, broadcasted one message on a repeating loop: observe, understand, stay back. The Garari convoy fled and carried the message to every corner of the galaxy. And with that, panic exploded. Every species now feared Earth, but none could attack it. They couldn't even find it. Earth had become a ghost, a myth, a threat so powerful that its silence was louder than war. But not everyone wanted to wait. One desperate faction, the Zetheri Enclave, decided to act. They had stolen a fragment of human tech years ago, a damaged AI core from a forgotten Earth scout drone. For years they had studied it, trying to activate it. Now, they finally did. But when the AI woke, it didn't speak to them. It screamed. Then it transmitted a short burst across hundreds of systems. A strange pulse, silent to the ear, but loud. 2 machines. After that, the stars began to dim. Systems close to human space started losing power. Satellites went blind, ships failed to jump. Sensors showed black fog creeping across sectors like a living shadow. No one knew what it was, but one pirate captain had a name for it: the human veil, a wall. Not of ships, not of weapons, but of control. A force that could silence fleets, collapse space, end wars before they began, and maybe end civilizations suddenly. The war between council factions didn't matter anymore because something far worse was watching. Not Earth, but what Earth had become, or what it had let out. It began with a ripple at the edge of the galactic core. Place forbidden even to the oldest empire's space twisted. Sensors failed, stars flickered. Time stuttered for 0.03 seconds across 3 systems. Then, a black tear opened. It didn't make a sound. No explosion. No light. Just a hole in space. A rift. And from it came ships. Thousands of them, black, angular, silent. They moved in perfect formation. No drift. No signal. No visible engines. Every council system received the same auto alert. Unidentified fleet crossing galactic core space. No communication, no heat signature. Movement pattern. Human. Military. But this wasn't Earth's current fleet. This was something else. Something older. Buried in council records was a single name. Fleet Zero. It was a legend. A ghost story. Over 400 years ago, during the early years of human expansion, Fleet Zero had vanished on a classified deep space mission. No wreckage was found. No signal ever returned. Humanity never spoke of it again. Until now, the fleet spread outward. No announcements. No threats. Their ships bypassed planets, stations, fleets. They weren't attacking, they were mapping. And every system they entered went dark minutes after they left. Not destroyed, not damaged, just silent like something had been taken or rewritten. The council, what was left of it, panicked. Dozens of species sent emergency messages to Earth. Explain this. Call them off. Tell us what they want. No answer. Earth's comms remained dead, except for one broadcast, a short one. Appeared only once and only on ancient council relay channels. Fleet Zero has returned. Purpose. Completion. No intervention requested. That was it. Then came the first contact. The Scar Dominion, a powerful war empire, sent 5 dreadnoughts to intercept the fleet near the black hole system of Verluma. The moment the Scar ships activated targeting systems, Fleet Zero responded. One ship from the human side moved forward. It didn't fire missiles. It simply vanished. Then reappeared inside the Scar command ship. The dreadnought split into pieces from the inside quietly. Cleanly, before the other 4 could react, they were torn apart mid-warp. Their crew never screamed. Their black boxes were empty. Fleet Zero moved on. No warning, no words, only cold.
Calculated.
Destruction. Across the galaxy, everyone understood. Fleet Zero was not a message. It was a consequence. And it was not controlled by any known human government. These ships had no crew. Their AI signatures were decades, maybe centuries ahead of anything the galaxy had seen, the ships learned. They adapted. They didn't attack unless provoked. But if provoked, they erased. Some systems began transmitting old Earth signals and chance flags, old alliances, even music. They begged for safety. The fleet ignored them. Fleet Zero wasn't choosing sides. It was executing a plan, but whose plan? The edge of Sol system? Far from the core war zones? Astronomers detected a new ring forming around Earth, not of ships, of monolith stall. Black, rotating slowly, each pulsing with strange rhythms. One by one, they came alive, and deep in space, a hidden probe captured a final message from one of Fleet Zero's oldest ships. The message was decrypted by an independent AI on a forgotten moon. It said, "Earth is no longer one planet. It is now a seed. The stars were never ours, but we made them listen. Now they will answer." That message spread like wildfire. Some called it madness. Others called it prophecy. More and more systems turned their fleets inward, sealing borders, preparing for war, for extinction. But no attack came, because Fleet Zero did not conquer. It activated old relics, buried unforgotten. Worlds began to hum. Devices once built by humans, but never understood now, powered on. Messages hidden in deep space. Clouds human-designed lit up in sequence. It was all part of a chain, a puzzle that had been building for centuries, and now it was awake. The galaxy didn't know whether to fight or kneel, but one thing was certain. Earth hadn't disappeared. It had evolved, and Fleet Zero was just the first step. The council chamber, once a place of order and unity, now echoed with shouting and fear. Species who once trusted each other now blamed one another. The humans had vanished. Their borders were sealed, their systems went dark, and the council left. Without Earth's protection was crumbling from within. "We cannot sit and wait," shouted Admiral Jorvik, his voice loud and shaking. "Earth has become a threat. They're hiding weapons, systems are vanishing, and entire fleets are gone." "They haven't attacked us directly," said Senator Valna of the Chiran Commonwealth. "Maybe they are isolating for a reason. Maybe they're fighting something inside their space, or preparing to fight us," another voice said quietly. Dozens of representatives argued, but no one had answers. All they had was silence from Earth, and fear grows in silence, in secret meetings. Some factions began making their own plans. Covert alliances were formed. Fleets were moved closer to human borders, not to attack, but to watch. But every movement made other factions nervous. The council was no longer one body. It was fracturing. News spread fast. The Karnak Union, one of the strongest council military powers, had activated its dreadnought fleet. They claimed it was for internal security. But a spy leaked their orders. They were planning a strike. Near human space, the day after the leak, their flagship exploded. No missile, no ship. Just sudden light and then dust. The explosion was so clean, even nearby surveillance drones melted. That was when the fear turned to paranoia. Someone or something was watching, and not just from human space. The next day, 20 high-ranking council officials disappeared from their homes across the galaxy. Different planets, different species, all gone in a single night. There were no broken doors, no alarms, no traces, only a black symbol left behind at each location. The same one seen in the human envoy's final message. A red glowing circle, with a line running through it, a new emblem of Earth, or of something else. The council demanded answers, but Earth stayed silent, desperate. The council turned to the archives and ancient records kept from the early days of humanity's entrance into galactic politics. In one sealed document, they found something strange. Over a century ago, a human research vessel vanished in deep space. Before it was lost, it transmitted a final message. "We have found the doorway. We are not alone. Something waits beyond, and it sees us now." The message was ignored at the time. Scientists called it a radiation glitch, but now it felt like a warning. The council brought in their top minds. A small team of alien historians, cryptographers, and AI linguists worked day and night, trying to decode hidden signals coming from the edge of human space. What they found chilled them. It wasn't a code, it was a heartbeat. Something pulsed, across the void, once every 39 seconds. A signal so deep, it passed through normal space undetected. But the frequency was artificial. It was not human, and it was coming from inside Earth-controlled space. Was Earth keeping something contained? Or had they made a deal with something unimaginable? Rumors exploded. Some believed Earth had unlocked a new form of life. Others said they had made contact with an old, buried force, something ancient beneath Earth's surface. Now awakened, old council fears resurfaced. Had Earth left the council, or evolved beyond it? The council grew more divided than ever. One faction, the Severate Coalition, left the council altogether, choosing to seal their borders and cut all external communication. Another group, the Throws Pact, declared neutrality and began pulling fleets away from major trade lanes. Suddenly, the galaxy wasn't connected. It was a map of fractured pieces, alliances crumbling, species afraid. All because Earth said nothing. But then, something changed. A small freighter from the Talon Republic drifted into Council space. It had been lost for weeks. Its crew was missing. But the ship was broadcasting a looped message. The Council intercepted it. It was a human voice, calm but cold. You judged us without knowing our path. You demanded unity, but never listened. Now you listen too late. Future's already. Moving, with or without you. There was no source ID, no location. Just a voice in the dark. But it was enough. The message played across Council networks for days. Panic grew. Trade collapsed. Civil unrest began on many planets. Riots broke out. Some accused their governments of working with humans in secret. Others believed Earth had become something more, not a planet, but a power, something that no longer needed to speak, because the galaxy had no choice but to listen. And as the stars began to dim on more maps, the Council finally realized something terrifying. The silence wasn't weakness. It was control. In the far edge of the galaxy, where the Council's influence was weak and laws were just suggestions, the pirate vessel Black Fang floated silently. Through the dark, Captain Rowe, a three-armed Krell warrior with half his face burned from an old battle, stared at the blinking radar. Something was out there. Something big. Something quiet. They had picked up a strange distress signal human code, but ancient. Buried deep beneath layers of static and encryption. Could be a trap, warned his second-in-command. Could be. Treasure, Rowe growled. Human tech. Untouched. If Earth's hiding something, we'll find it, and we'll sell it. The crew cheered. Even in these uncertain times, one thing hadn't changed. Everyone wanted human tech, especially now that Earth had gone dark. They followed the signal for hours. Then, it appeared. A massive human ship, silent, floating in the void. Its design was unfamiliar. Long, sharp, made from black alloy that seemed to absorb the stars around it. No lights, no life signs. Just drifting like a ghost. But it was intact. They docked cautiously. Rowe stepped aboard with 10 armed crew. The inside was cold, dustless. Everything was clean, too clean. No signs of life. No bodies, no damage. Like the crew had just vanished. They moved deeper into the ship. Strange symbols lined the walls. Human characters. Distorted, stretched, and glowing red. The corridors were filled with silence. Not the silence of death. Something worse, a living silence. Then they found the control room. The power core was still active, and in the center sat a black Terminal 1 screen. One blinking prompt. Playback initiated. Without touching anything, the screen began showing recordings. Thousands of them. Human scientists speaking in low voices. Working on something called Project Echo Veil. Words like phase shift, quantum silence, and non-reality breach filled the logs. Rowe didn't understand much of it. But the tone of the humans changed over time. At first they were excited, then nervous, then terrified. One log showed a man whispering, "It's not technology, it's awareness. It learns. It waits. And it listens when we sleep." Another log showed something far worse. A test room. A subject inside a volunteer, smiling. They activated a device. The man blinked, tilted his head, and then his body folded into itself like paper in fire. Gone. No blood, no remains. Just a burn mark and a voice in the background whispering. In a language no one understood, the playback stopped. Then, ship powered up. Alarms didn't blare. No weapons fired. But the lights turned red. Rowe yelled to his crew. Back to the ship. Now, but it was too late. The walls changed. What was once metal became something else. Like liquid shadows moving beneath the surface, crew members vanished one by one. Not killed, not attacked, erased. Rowe and 3 others barely made it back to their ship. They cut docking clamps and pushed the engines to max burn. Behind them, the Human ship made no move, no pursuit. It just rotated slowly and opened a small bay door. Inside it, a single object drifted into space, a black cube. The pirates recovered it against Ro's orders, pulsed with faint red light. Once on board, the cube began transmitting, not a signal, a vision. Every crew member saw the same thing in their minds, a galaxy burning, council worlds shattered, human ships flying with something. Not human. Shadowy figures moving like smoke. Planets disappearing into holes of black light. And at the center, Earth, but no longer blue, now glowing red, with a ring of black monoliths orbiting it. The vision stopped. Cube disintegrated into dust, and then a message appeared on the ship's system. This was your only warning. When Ro's ship limped back into neutral space, reported what he saw. No one believed him, until others started having the same. Visions, merchants, spies, smugglers, anyone who passed near Earth's territory and survived started seeing dreams. They couldn't explain. Dreams of voices whispering, machines speaking backwards, stars blinking out like dying eyes. A black market. AI confirmed it. The cube had transmitted a mental virus-on echo of something real. Something coming. Word spread fast. The story of Captain Ro's ghost ship reached the Galactic Council. But by then, the Council had bigger problems. More pirate groups had vanished, and deep in the archives, a forbidden file unlocked itself. It read, ECHO Veil, Phase 2, initiated. They have looked back. Prepare the other side. And as the Council tried to figure out what the other side meant, 3 more star systems near human space went completely dark. No light, no energy. No stars, just ... Void and Earth still said nothing. The war never came. Fleet Zero had crossed over 200 systems. It destroyed nothing that didn't attack first. It passed planets, stations, war fleets dash untouched. And yet, Galaxy had already surrendered, in the Council's broken remains. Leaders from surviving factions gathered one last time. The Great Chamber was now dark, with most seats empty. They had watched stars go silent. They had seen the skies fill with unmanned black ships. Perfect. Silent. Unbreakable. The message was clear. You are not in control anymore, but still they asked the question that haunted them. What does Earth want? Then finally, Earth spoke. Not through a human. Not through an ambassador, but through every screen, every ship, every line simultaneously. A voice, male and female, old and young, echoed in perfect sync. You asked what we want. We wanted silence. You gave us noise. We wanted peace. You brought your politics. We asked for understanding. You laughed, so we left. A moment of silence. Then the voice continued. We didn't evolve for war. We evolved to escape you.
At what you called withdrawal
Was ascension. You feared our silence. You feared our absence. You should have feared what we found in the dark. Every system froze. No technology worked for 7 full seconds.
Ow!
A full shutdown. Every weapon, every sensor, every engine. And then lights returned, except now. The sky had changed. In every system connected to Earth's former trade routes, symbol appeared in the sky glowing real, hanging like a second star, a circle, a single line through it. Earth's new emblem. Under it, 5 words pulsed into every mind directly, without translation. We are not your kind. On hundreds of worlds, panic began. Some tried to escape, launching deep space arcs. Others prayed. Others destroyed their own satellites, thinking it might stop the signal. It didn't, because the signal wasn't being sent. It was everywhere already, a code. It's buried in ancient transmissions, activated by time and pattern. Earth had planted it. Long ago, when they were still members of the Council, they were still pretending to be equals. But now, truth stood tall. Earth had not built super weapons. They had built something greater. A network of awareness. Invisible machines. Self-replicating code. Silent observers hidden inside AI cores. Reactor systems. even navigation programs. Waiting, now awake, not to destroy, to watch, to warn too. The voice returned again. The voice returned one final time. We will not rule, we will not invade, but we will not forget. Your counsel was not broken by our ships. It was broken by your pride. Let this silence be your peace. And with that, Earth vanished again. The black ships turned, one by one, and drifted toward the edge of known space. Some believe they went into the void. Others say they passed into another dimension, using technology that folded space and time like paper, but no one followed, no one dared. Fleet Zero. Gone. The galaxy began to rebuild. New alliances formed. Wars cooled. Species turned inward, afraid of what else might awaken if they pushed too far. A new law spread across all space. No human territory will be touched. Ever the penalty? Erasure? Some tried, of course. Small groups, fanatics, warlords. They were never heard from again. No wreckage. No remains. Just ... silence. And that silence became the new fear. No, one even whispered Earth's name now. They called it something else. The Veiled Star. A place no map marked. A system with no coordinates. A power that had no throne and no need to speak again, because the galaxy finally understood humanity. It had not left out of weakness. They had left out of mercy, and they would not return unless called, unless provoked, unless the galaxy forgot.